Say hi. Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Olivia and I post about lifestyle, business, and social media. So today I thought it'd be interesting to show you guys how I edit my Instagram photos, considering that I am an influencer, whatever that means. I make money from my Instagram account. So thought it'd be interesting to show you guys what apps I use and kind of just spill the tea on how I love to edit my photos. I feel like nowadays, even if you're not an influencer and even if you don't get paid to post on Instagram, people are still editing their photos really well, like very aesthetically. Like I have a personal page, I don't really care too much about editing there. Like I still pretty much will edit on the Instagram app and post on there because it's just like my friends and family. But for my Olivia PW account, go follow it if you're not already. Definitely try to follow some sort of like aesthetic, mood, color scheme. Honestly, I really don't have that much of a color scheme on my feed. It's not something like, there's those influencers who you go on their feed and it's like super aesthetic and there's like a range of different shots and it's one solid color scheme. My dog's coming. Come here, I think, girl. She's scared of the rain. Hi, mamas. Say hi. Say hi, girl. I kind of prioritize like the quality of each individual photo over the aesthetic of my feed altogether. That's totally, I think, someone's personal preference, up to you. I don't know if it's any better or any worse to be one way or the other. I think brands kind of just look at the quality of your content in general, not necessarily like the aesthetic of your feed. That's my hot take on it. Okay, so just to give you guys reference, these are how many photos we take. So all of these tub photos, there might be 200 or 300 photos here, and that just goes to show like how many pictures it truly does take to get one that you're happy with. And also, just a disclaimer, Instagram is a highlight reel. I say it plenty of times, I'll say it forever. So something that looks like the perfect shot and looks so effortless, we definitely put a lot of effort into, and you know, it took 300 shots to get that one perfect one. All right, so we're gonna go for the first one, which are these tub ones. And I really like the blue sky behind. So I will go straight from my photos into Lightroom. So I export it straight into the Lightroom app, which I have on my phone. It's free on your phone, but on a desktop, it does cost money. I'll make a selection process in my photos, and then this is like the final selection process, like what I really think might end up on the feed. So you see how I have hearts next to all of those? I'm going to go ahead and delete everything that doesn't have a heart, because if I didn't do this, I would have a phone full of hundreds of photos that I will never use. Okay, so here's my bathtub photos. I'm gonna import this to edit. So once I do that, I go into Lightroom. This is like the first step of the process where I will get my lighting correct and colors correct. So I'm gonna go ahead and brighten it up a little bit. Even if a photo does look bright, it can always be brighter. And I always turn up the shadows just because personally I don't like my hair looking too dark. I would prefer to look at lighter, and then it really shows off the highlights in my hair too. And then we always add a little bit of saturation, not too much, don't want to be orange, but just enough to make the colors pop. And whenever there's blue, I like to do, which I think is pretty common, I feel like a lot of influencers and bloggers go towards this hue of blue. So I'll go into the colors here, I go into the upper right corner of the mix, and then here I can select each individual color, and if I wanted to change the hue of it, which is basically just like, for example, the color blue, what type of blue I would want, like a blue that looks more like green or a blue that looks more like yellowish blue. You guys get the point. So like I could even make it purple. So you can select one particular color and then it will change everything that is that color in the photo. So for blue, I like to, this is like the normal color of the sky, and I like to do this. I think it looks just super dreamy, but I also don't like how saturated that blue is, so I will turn that down just a wee bit because I feel like it's too overtaking. Overtaking, is that even a word? I don't want it to be like so distracting, and I don't really have a lot of blue on my feed, so I don't want it to pop out. So that is the before, that is the after. Kind of just brightens it up, makes the colors pop a little more. I'll even go in, there's some green back there, and I like to make my greens a little more yellow, like that, versus super green. So if I have a very similar photo, like two or three photos that are the same spot, same lighting, same colors, I'll just copy my settings and paste it to the other photo. That's the before, that's the after. Okay, we're going into Color Tone now. Color Tone is really like my main editing app. That's where I add my like preset. I personally like to do the Seychelles, I don't know how the to say that filter. So this just makes me a little tanner. I don't know what it does to the whites, but whatever it does, I love it. It's too much to do it all the way, so I usually do it halfway, and then I go into grain, and then too much grain really can make it dark, so I really just like to do a little subtle amount, just enough to make it look like it's a little more like film. Usually I'll add some dust, which you can get in the Color Tone app, because again, film, the whole film look is really in, and I love it. I think it's super cute. And then sometimes I will go and add a light, which is supposed to also make it look like film. That's it without it, that's it with it. It gives the whole photo like an overall warmer tone. So that is the before on Color Tone, that is the after, the edits. So another two apps that I use are Facetune and Retouch. On Facetune, I don't do anything crazy. My rule is that I can't touch my body. So that means if I have a pimple on my face, I will take that out for the sake of, and this is up for debate, like this is everyone's personal preference. There was a point in time where I did edit my body. 4 years ago, I would take in my waist very subtly, but it was enough for me to feel like it made a difference. It might not have even been noticeable to someone looking at it who didn't know me, or even if they did know me. I really reflected and asked myself like why I felt the need to edit my body, and it was because of comparison. It was because I was looking at everyone else's photos and how their bodies looked and how their waist looked so tiny, and I realized by me taking my waist in on Facetune, I was only adding to the problem of that. I was only adding to that idea that your waist has to be 23 inches for you to be beautiful or sexy or a woman. Since then, all my recent photos, I do not take in my body at all. I don't touch my body. That's like my one rule. If there is something super noticeable, for the sake of professional reasons, I do like to clean things up in my photos, just because I feel like it's not professional to be doing, you know, something close up like jewelry and have a nice fat zit on my chin, you know, something along the lines of that. Like you wouldn't see that in a magazine, or you know, it's just not representative of whatever brand that you're working with very well. So to keep my page looking professional, I will edit things out that look weird on my face, or if I have a weird tan line, things along the lines of that. Yeah, so that's my rule with Facetune. For Retouch, this right here is the magic app, you guys, and it's a little tricky at first, but once you get the hang of it, it pretty much just does everything itself. So like for example, there's really not much here that is distracting in the photo, but if and when there are distracting things in the photo, I will always edit it out, because why not? So there's these little black lights, and they're not super distracting, but they are just, for me, I'm like a perfectionist when it comes to this stuff, so I will just brush it out, and they have something called object removal, and boom, it's gone. And you have to be careful with lines sometimes. It can like mess up lines, but there's so much going on in that corner of the photo that it's not noticeable. And this is so much easier than using like Photoshop or anything else. Pretty much just does the work for you. Takes a few tries sometimes to get it right. All right, we're looking good. I think we have the final photo. So we're going to go ahead and export that, and then we're good to go. A lot of times on Instagram, I will add like a little bit of warmth as my final step. So here we are, the final photo. That is how I edit my photos, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, it's not anything too crazy. I like to keep my edits very natural, as you can see in some of my Instagram photos here. I just make my skin look tanner, make my teeth look a little whiter, clean up any crazy hairs, clean up any distracting objects in my photos, and then I call it a day. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer any of them. Thanks guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button and click subscribe if you're not already subscribed. New videos every Wednesday, and I'll see you next week for another one. Bye!